Felicia meets with Ava at Kelly's. They talk about everything that has happened, including Esme being Ryan's daughter and the fact she still hasn't been punished. Felicia asks if she's going after Esme, but Ava says she'll leave that to the authorities. Felicia asks about Austin, who Ava has been spending a lot of time with lately. Ava recalls when she and Austin found out Nicholas' body was missing. She explains that both she and Austin had to deal with lunatics, so it brought them together. Ava has to get going but assures Felicia she'll see her at the nurses' ball later as something big always happens there. Finn and Violet help Liz set up the family goodbye breakfast for Cam. Laura arrives, and Jake and Aiden come downstairs to join them. Cam follows his brothers to a surprise breakfast they planned before he heads off for Stanford. He says he feels like the luckiest guy right now. Everyone helps themselves to breakfast, and Liz takes a minute alone in the kitchen. Finn checks on her, and she says it's been an intense few days, and now she has to say goodbye to her firstborn. Later, the boys all chat with Finn and Violet, and Laura checks on Liz. Laura knows sending your kids out into the world is hard, especially your firstborn. Liz says she's already missing him, and he's not even gone. Laura tells her that there is joy in watching one's kids forge paths on their own and live full lives. Cam gets a message from Scott that he's stuck at work. Laura tells Cam that Scott loves him very much, as does she. She says she is so proud of him and can't wait to see what he does next. They share a hug. Finn helps Liz clean up afterward, and Liz tells him that she learned Epiphany left a letter for her after all. She's glad to know she didn't disappoint her mentor. Meanwhile, Violet, Aiden, and Jake surprise Cam with a drawing of them that Jake made so he can take them with him. Aiden and Violet added some cutouts to the drawing. Violet asks if he likes it. Cam loves it and gives Violet a hug. Cam takes a chance to thank Finn for everything he's done for this family and asks them to look after his mom as she's going to need friends. Finn promises he will. Finn and Violet then head out. Jake asks Cam how often he'll visit, as he's thinking of turning his room into an art studio. Cam jokes he seems ready for him to go already, but says he will visit as much as he can. Jake promises to take care of Aiden and their mom, but Cam says he's still their brother and he's not going away forever. The boys share a hug. Later, Cam worries to his mom about leaving when everyone still needs him. She tells him that he's always been their rock, but it's time for him to live his best life. They embrace and are both in tears. At the hospital, Spencer, Esme, and Ace arrive. Ace is sick, and Esme tells a nurse that her son needs treatment right now. The nurse gives them some forms to fill out and says someone will be with them as soon as they can. Spencer advises Esme that berating the nurse won't get Ace treated any sooner. She tells him if she's not on her side then leave, but he refuses to leave his brother alone with her. They sit down and fill out the forms. Spencer says grandmother doesn't feel it's that bad. Esme knows her baby is sick. Spencer says she can't hide behind this angelic mother routine and Ace forever. She may have lost her memory, but she's still the same person. Esme, Ace, and Spencer are shown to a room and told the doctor would be in shortly. Esme tells Spencer she knows they have reasons not to trust one another, but she wishes that could be in the past and they could get along for Ace's sake. Spencer says knowing what she has done to him and his friends is hard to forget. Esme says it's not good for Ace to see them fighting all the time. Austin enters, and he recognizes Esme. She recognizes him as the man her mother tried to kill. She hopes he doesn't hold what her mother did against her in Ace. Austin assures her that he doesn't. He asks what is up with her baby, and she explains he hasn't been eating as much and has been flush. After examining the boy, Austin diagnoses Ace with a case of colic and says he'll get him some probiotics and some information for her on soothing techniques she can use to help him. Spencer has to leave, and Esme mutters, "It figures." He asks what that means. Esme says she needs to learn not to rely on him and Laura so much, so she needs to find a job. Spencer laughs that she's never worked a day in her life. He's already offered to pay for her and Ace, but Esme knows that's part of his plan to take her son. She vows she'll never give up Ace and orders Spencer to go. He leaves. After waiting for Austin to return, Esme decides to take a trip to the vending machines, only to run into Ava. Sonny and Dex arrive at the pier and meet with Ms. Wu and her associate Lee. She sent Lee to the high cider, and the bartender identified the shooter, but says they only came in once and was staying at a nearby hotel. His belongings were put in storage when he never returned to the hotel, and they retrieved them. Lee drops a bag, and Wu hopes this restores Sonny's faith in her. Ms. Wu and Lee leave, and Sonny tells Dex they'll examine the contents of the bag someplace more private. As they go to leave, Dex notices a body in the water and jumps in. He comes out with a very dead Eileen, who Sonny recognizes. Jordan arrives and is shocked that Sonny, who is alone, reported the body. He explains he was just taking a stroll when he noticed the body. Jordan finds this some coincidence. Laura soon appears and asks Jordan if it's true that Eileen is dead. Jordan says she's sorry. Jordan excuses herself to take a call. Laura asks Sonny what happened. He guesses it was Victor. Jordan returns and informs them the coroner is en route. Laura tells Sonny if this is Victor's doing, then Anna, Lucy, and Valentin need to be warned. Sonny leaves to deal with it, as Laura must remain to give a press statement. Laura asks Jordan what happened, but Jordan says they have to wait for the ME's report. However, the coroner says it appears from the broken bones and contusions that Eileen died from a fall. At the safe house, Valentin and Anna worry about Eileen and know she can't outrun Victor. There is a knock at the door, and they arm themselves. Anna answers, and it's only Drew. Drew explains that Felicia sent him, and he wasn't followed. He tells them that Victor has disappeared. He checked out of the Metro Court, but he did not do it himself. Anna assumes that Victor is onto them. Anna says something spooked Eileen enough that she ran out of town. Drew says Eileen is gone, but she had a dog that was the apple of her eye that she mysteriously abandoned at her apartment. He believes there is no way she would have left him willingly. Anna agrees that something bad has happened. Anna realizes if Victor busted Eileen, then she likely told him everything they have been up to. Just then, Sonny knocks at the door, and Anna lets him in. Anna asks what he's doing here. He says Laura got caught up in an emergency, and Eileen is dead. At the nurses' ball rehearsal space, Joss and Trina practice for their number when Maxie enters and asks what they are doing there. They explain they are practicing. Maxie rants that the ball is tonight, and they are still rehearsing. She thinks the ball is going to hell in a handbasket. Joss and Trina promise her that they are beyond ready. She heads out to tackle more problems. Trina and Joss talk about the ball, and Joss wonders if Trina is planning to have fun with Spencer tonight. Trina says she and Spencer are more than friends, but it's complicated. She doesn't like the idea of Esme, Spencer, and the baby living together as some pseudo-family. She wants to be with Spencer, but she thinks she should take it slow. Joss believes that is the right idea. Trina asks Joss about her love life, and if she is ready to get out in the dating scene. Joss says she's been swamped with classes and hasn't had time to date. Trina offers to set her up with the captain of the water polo team, but Joss turns her down. Trina wonders if Joss is already seeing someone. Joss admits she is. It's no one she knows, and it's complicated. Trina asks who it is, but she can't tell her as there would be serious consequences if this came out. Joss promises to tell her when she can, but right now the stakes are too high. Trina recalls Spencer arguing with Dex at the church and Joss defending him. Trina makes her promise if there is any sign of trouble that she comes to her. Suddenly, Dex enters and says hello to Joss and Trina. He explains he's sorry to interrupt, and that Maxie talked him into performing. Maxie returns and grabs Dex for his wardrobe, and Trina sees Joss is all smiles. Trina says, "No one I know, huh?" In a forest, Victor meets with Spencer. Victor asks if he's finally willing to do what needs to be done.